So this is how the game changes, not with a buzzer beater, not with a last-second trade, but with three titans from three different generations stepping into the same room. Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Michael Jordan. Say those names out loud. Feel the weight. The rookie rewriting record books, the veteran Bill from battle-tested grit, and the greatest to ever touch a basketball, together, side by side. And what's unfolding isn't just another sports announcement. This is the beginning of something seismic, something that could flip the basketball world on its head and reshape everything we thought we knew about development, mentorship, and legacy. The silence before the storm is over, because the storm has arrived, and it brought legends with it. No one saw this coming. Not the insiders, not the analysts, not even the fans who follow every bounce of the ball like scripture. But it happened. Clark, Cunningham, and Jordan. Three forces converging like a basketball supernova. And it wasn't just a photo op or a charity event. No, this was calculated, strategic, explosive, a high-stakes alignment with implications that stretch far beyond the hardwood. We're talking about a collaboration that threatens to redraw the borders of the game entirely. Caitlin Clark has been nothing short of a revolution. In her rookie year alone, she's done what most players only dream of after a decade, averaging 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds, while dragging the Indiana Fever from irrelevance into playoff contention. But it's not just numbers. It's the energy, the spotlight, the millions tuning in to see what she'll do next. She's turned routine games into primetime events, and she's done it with a kind of charisma and command that can't be taught. But here's where it gets even more dangerous. For everyone else, Clark isn't just a player. She's a brand, a movement, a cultural force. Her presence on social media, the way she markets herself, the way fans, especially young girls, gravitate to her. It's unprecedented. Her follower count, skyrocketing. Her merch, flying off the shelves. Her interviews, viral. In an age where attention is currency, Clark is the richest athlete in the WNBA. And she's just getting started. That kind of magnetism is exactly why someone like Michael Jordan would take notice, because Jordan doesn't get involved in projects unless he sees legacy, greatness, a return. So when whispers started circulating that Jordan was circling the women's game, people shrugged. But when he appeared alongside Clark and Cunningham, the shrug turned into shock. This wasn't rumor anymore. It was real. Jordan had the potential to shake every corner of the basketball universe. Then there's Sophie Cunningham, the veteran, the anchor, the shooter who survived the grind, the injuries, the battles with titans of the league, and emerged with scars that shine like medals. Her 37.8% three-point shooting, clutch. Her leadership in Phoenix, respected. But more than that, Sophie has become the kind of voice younger players trust. She's seen the game evolve. She's lived through the old WNBA and the new, and now she's standing shoulder to shoulder with the future and the past. Cunningham isn't just here for show. Her presence signals something deeper: mentorship, wisdom, continuity. You got Clark, the ascending comet. You've got Jordan, the immortal legend. But Cunningham, she's the bridge, the translation. She's lived the grind these young players face and understands the pedestal Jordan occupies. She speaks both languages. That makes her indispensable. That makes this trio lethal. Imagine the potential here. Clark's star power, Cunningham's experience, Jordan's empire. We're talking about a supernova of influence. Corporate sponsors are already salivating. Development programs, endorsement deals, media campaigns, training initiatives. It's all on the table now. This isn't just a story. It's a launch pad, and the WNBA might never look the same again. Michael Jordan doesn't do small. He never has. So when he steps into a space, he brings weight. His business network alone is worth billions. His Jordan brand, global. His track record for transforming opportunity into empire, flawless. So if he's looking at the WNBA now, he's not just interested, he's invested. And when MJ invests, entire ecosystems change. The same way he elevated Nike, turned Charlotte into a household name, and set the gold standard for athlete branding. The mere idea of Jordan mentoring Clark sends shockwaves. Can you imagine the GOAT breaking down tape with her? Teaching her the art of isolation, killer instinct, the unteachable hunger that defines legends? And it's not hypothetical. It's happening. Sources close to the deal suggest that development programs combining Jordan's basketball acumen with Clark and Cunningham's perspectives are in the works. Custom built for women's basketball. That's the key here, women's basketball. This isn't about piggybacking off the NBA. This is about building a parallel empire. One where WNBA athletes aren't just stars. They're moguls, entrepreneurs, mentors. And it starts with Jordan lending his credibility, his resources, and his legacy to a movement that's already red hot and only growing stronger. It's chess, not checkers. And Clark is the queen being positioned for domination. Behind closed doors, discussions are already swirling. Joint ventures, training facilities, international academies, digital content platforms, social media empires, even talk of a women's basketball super brand, backed by Jordan's investment muscle, and built around Clark's charisma. Picture a global tour, spotlighting WNBA stars in ways the league has never seen. That's what's brewing here. And the fans? They're already buying in. Let's talk numbers. WNBA viewership is up. Attendance is booming. Merch sales are through the roof. And much of that can be traced to Caitlin Clark's arrival. But this next chapter, with Jordan in her corner, that could take things to a whole new level. And Sophie Cunningham is the wild card, the stabilizer. Her ability to mentor, anchor, and push young players behind the scenes could be the glue holding this empire together. Cunningham knows the pitfalls, the locker room politics, the burnout, the business side that no one teaches rookies. Her value isn't flashy, it's foundational. She's a player who builds dynasties by making sure the culture sticks. And if she's joining forces with Jordan and Clark, then this isn't just a headline, it's a blueprint. What if they're building something bigger? A player-led initiative to develop the next generation of WNBA stars? A grassroots movement that identifies and mentors talent from middle school all the way to the pros? Imagine elite training centers co-branded by Jordan and Clark. Coaching clinics, leadership seminars, business courses. This is legacy building, not just highlight reels. And don't underestimate the power of story. The narrative practically writes itself. Clark, the chosen one. Cunningham, the mentor. Jordan, the godfather. Together, create a movement that elevates women's basketball into a new era. An era where talent, business, and influence collide to form something unstoppable. We're not just watching a game evolve. We're witnessing a sport reborn. And what makes this even more powerful is that this isn't about one season, one deal, or one viral moment. This is long game strategy. It's generational. It's legacy architecture in real time. Caitlin Clark isn't just trying to be a star in the WNBA. She's building an empire. And Michael Jordan sees that blueprint because he wrote the first draft of it decades ago. Now, he's handing over the tools, not just a hammer and nails, but the whole damn workshop. And Clark? She's already drawing up the blueprints for a future where women's basketball doesn't just survive, it dominates. Jordan didn't just walk into this meeting because he was feeling generous. He walked in because he sees ROI. He sees global expansion. He sees what happens when you take a star like Clark and scale it. Media, tech, merchandise, influence. And he's not alone. Sponsors are lining up. Tech partners, global sports brands, streaming platforms. They're all circling this new basketball trinity because the buzz is deafening. It's not a whisper campaign. It's a thunderclap across the entire sport world. And in the middle of this storm, Sophie Cunningham, calm as ever. She's not screaming for attention, but her value echoes louder than any headline. She's seen the broken systems. She's played through the years when the WNBA was an afterthought. And now, she's witnessing its resurrection. And this time, she's not on the sidelines. She's at the core, teaching, grounding, protecting the foundation while others build the tower. Her voice, her presence, it's what gives this project legs and soul. We're entering a new era where mentorship is currency, where business is an afterthought for female athletes. It's the second half of their game, and this trio, they're playing both sides of court. Clark is already working on media partnerships that include behind-the-scenes docuseries, leadership seminars, and digital platforms where players can tell their own stories. Not just highlight reels, but narratives, identity, legacy, ownership of the brand, not just the ball. And speaking of ownership, insiders are whispering that Jordan and Clark aren't just thinking about training players. They're thinking about owning a future team. You heard that right. A potential co-ownership model where former players, legends, and rising stars unite to build a franchise that's by the players, for the players. A team that doesn't just compete, but sets new standards for compensation, innovation, and fan engagement. A dynasty built from the ground up, with Cunningham serving as a heartbeat of its culture. This isn't fantasy. It's happening. It's already underway. Meetings are being scheduled. Partners are being vetted. Names are being trademarked. Every piece of this is being placed with precision, and it's all centered around one undeniable truth. The WNBA's time is now. Not in 5 years. Not in the next CBA. Now. And Clark, Cunningham, and Jordan are lighting the path forward. What separates this moment from every failed campaign? Before it is simple, alignment. You have a rising star with generational pull, a veteran who's lived the highs and lows, and a global icon with limitless resources and a score to settle with history. Together, they're rewriting the narrative, not begging for seats at the table. They're building a new table, bigger, louder, and open to every girl who ever picked up a basketball and wondered if there was a place for her in the spotlight. And the timing? Flawless. The 2024 WNBA season shattered every previous benchmark. Ratings up, social engagement through the roof, tickets selling out across the country. The demand is there. The audience is starving for something new, bold, unapologetically excellent. And this collaboration delivers exactly that. The Fever Games have already become the hottest ticket in town. And now, with the Jordan brand possibly entering the mix, the ceiling just got obliterated. The cultural crossover is massive too. Imagine custom Jordan sneakers designed with Clark's input, inspired by the trailblazers who came before her. Imagine entire campaigns focused on elevating the next generation, documentaries, web shows, live clinics, interactive training apps. Imagine a world where little girls can stream a Jordan X Clark camp from their living room and train like the pros. That's the future being built right now. And it's not just about American basketball. Jordan's global influence opens doors across Europe, Asia, and Africa. Add Clark's meteoric rise to the mix, and the potential for global tours, satellite camps, and international media expansion becomes limitless. Cunningham's grit and credibility give it heart. Clark brings the fire. Jordan, he's the fuel. People talk about changing the game all the time, but what we're seeing here, this is changing the industry, the business of basketball, the narrative of who holds power. And what makes it even more poetic is that it's happening in the WNBA, a league that for so long had to fight just to be heard. Now, it's thundering through every sports headline and forcing the world to listen. This moment isn't just big for Clark or Cunningham. It's big for every WNBA player past and present. For the legends who paved the way with no spotlight. For the ones who held the league together with grit and duct tape. This collaboration honors them, elevates them, tells the world what they built matters, and the future they dreamed of, it's here now. We are looking at the most pivotal moment in women's basketball history. A union of unstoppable force, Clark, unshakable foundation, Cunningham, and unchallengeable legacy, Jordan. Together, they don't just demand change, they are the change. And from this point on, nothing will ever be the same. The cameras may be off for now. The press conference may still be in planning. But make no mistake, the clock has started ticking. And the countdown isn't to a game, it's to a revolution. One where women's basketball takes center stage, not as a sideshow, but as a main event. One where the world finally realizes the value, the talent, the power that's been there all along. And if you think the story ends with jersey or a press release, think again. This is a pilot episode of a new era. The first chapter in a saga that's going to redefine sports legacy and what it means to build something that outlasts the game itself. Because Clark isn't playing just to win, she's playing to build. Cunningham isn't guiding just a coach, she's anchoring an empire. And Jordan, he's not just lending his name, he's laying down a blueprint that only legends can write. So buckle up, because what's coming next isn't just another highlight, it's history, and you're witnessing it in real time. And while everyone's asking what this announcement could mean, the real question is, what can it mean? Because when you combine this much star power, business sense, and purpose, there are no limits, just possibilities. And the WNBA, it's standing on the edge of its most transformative moment yet. All it took was 3 names: Clark, Cunningham, Jordan, and now the whole world is watching. This is the dawn of a new era. The question is no longer if women's basketball will rise. It's how high it will go and who will lead the way. And after today's announcement, we know exactly who's driving the future forward. The crown has been passed, the torch lit, and what comes next? It's going to be historic. Buckle up, because basketball as we know it is about to change forever.